I'm ready to party. Are you ready to party? I'm ready to party. Are you ready to party?
I want you to
Welcome
know.
back to another episode.
Yep, that was perfectly timed.
Thank you.
Continue.
Welcome back to another episode of Castpod. This is a very special episode of Castpod. Not only because of my fantastic intro, but because we have a special guest today. And that guest is...
Hi, Kevin Higgins.
That's right, we have Kevin Higgins with us today.
First time on. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here too. So let me just tell you how things work around here.
All right.
First of all, let me just introduce you to my co-host Tom over here. Tom.
Hello, I work on this podcast. Yes.
Thank you. So me and my
Sounds
co-host
like
Tom
your other
here.
co-host.
What other co-host? What are you talking about?
I mean, your usual co-host.
The usual co-host. Well, anyways, let's get back into interviewing our special guest today. So, Tom, who are you?
Good question. Well, I'm your friend, I would hope.
Wow.
Well, yeah. Well, it's up for debate. We'll
we
figure that out.
plan
as
on
we go.
ranking our friends at some point. I hope you know.
Oh,
That's
I
true.
see. Well, I'm definitely aiming for 5th place then. So, still on the list.
We'll see.
So my name is Tom. I am currently an ecology graduate student at Stony Brook University, and I met both of our hosts, Kevin and Calum, at Delaware Valley University, where we all studied wildlife conservation and management. And I'm a New Jersey native. I'm
Gross.
currently in New Jersey because of this pandemic, and I'm sitting on my couch talking to you.
Am I allowed to say your address?
What? Why?
Because I know
Starting strong.
I see. Every time you say it somewhat differently. So
I mess up like the city part. That's the part that gets me.
You also mess up whether it's like a road or a street or a lane or whatever.
Oh shit.
How about we don't dox Tom? And,
yeah, let's not. I mean, right now, I'm sure not many people are like, what if you all become famous? Somebody's going to go through this.
Oh, that's hilarious. You think we're going to be famous?
Hey, I mean, all got the personality for it.
That's what I like to hear. This is why he's the first guest on the show.
I'm just shamelessly plugging you. Exactly. I don't have anything else going on in my life, though. But yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk to y'all. Not that we don't talk all the time anyway, but now it's being recorded, so it's slightly different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. But, don't feel stressed or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
There will be a quiz later on tonight.
Yeah, I hope you're prepared.
I'm very good at quizzes, so.
All right,
I hope you've seen every episode of this podcast, because that's what it's on.
All right, here we go. Kevin's gonna. I'm gonna make a quiz about our show now.
Great.
Just a quiz time. All right. What am I writing?
So, anyways, what do we have prepared for today, Kevin?
As usual, absolutely nothing.
Got that right. We have no prompts. So I guess, Tom, tell us your heartburn story.
Heartburn story?
Yes.
No,
I changed my mind. What is your life goal? What is your career path? What other podcast can I rip?
Heartburn story. No.
Who is your Mount Rushmore? It's calling out Chris's podcast.
Hey.
I see. So we're just going through the different other podcasts, are we?
This is correct. Yeah.
I really got nervous there for a second.
We do have a plan to make a hijacking episode where we hijack at least one of the other podcasts by just because I make, except for Chris's, I make Heartburn and D4's designs, so I could just pop that up on the screen and we could just completely hijack it.
Yeah, I think like legally.
Heartburn in theory.
Heartburn in theory. I like that.
Perfect.
See, already making creative decisions.
This is why we like you, Tom.
Yes.
All right. So what should we actually speak on? Because it is true that we speak pretty much
all the time.
every day. So it's not like, we
It's
really
not like there's anything interesting that one of us
like,
knows that the others don't about each other.
big stories or anything. Tom, when's the last time you pooped your pants?
We need an answer.
I will say it's older than you would hope.
Relatable. Am I right, ladies and gentlemen?
I can tell you for a fact that is a fact, Calum.
Oh no. I think I was maybe 10. And we were
Child play.
actually like biking, me and some friends, and all right. So I really had to poop, and we were in the middle of the, and like when you're camping, you poop in the woods. So I was like
Oh, yeah.
well equipped to do it without pooping my pants, and I pooped, but then my one friend did a trick on his bike while I was pooping and broke his arm.
I
So
thought you were gonna say like my friend did a trick and it was so sick. I pooped myself right
no,
there.
Oh my god.
no, that would have been amazing. But no, I was
It's
behind
like,
a tree and I heard screaming, and I didn't have time to like act like
yeah,
actively
yeah, yeah.
prepare for like having to rush home. So to get into the hospital, so I just pulled my pants up. Like I was done pooping, but there
Yeah,
was like there was residue.
yeah.
So it was
Okay.
not a fun time, especially on a very small bike seat, like
So,
biking a mile
so
back.
you
It was
you
not
had a
fun.
hint of mud butt, would you say?
I did, and it wasn't that bad, I don't think. But I think that was the one and only time I pooped my pants that wasn't like when I was a toddler. Like once I
Nice.
knew how to go to the bathroom. So
Oh,
Shall
I can
I
no
tell the
longer
story
relate.
on when Calum last pooped himself?
I think haven't we already told it?
Maybe, I don't know.
I feel like it's been said.
material, you too.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, this is what happens when you start a podcast and then start it over again like 2 years later.
Yeah.
3 years later? Who knows how
Oh,
many?
I gotta put that
Hey,
on the
but you don't
quiz.
know. In those 2 years, 3 years, there could have been another poop story.
Oh, there has been.
Of course, there has
That's not
been.
even. Don't even worry about that. Actually, I did almost poop my pants when I was in Angola.
I
Really?
was gonna
Uh,
guess, was it in Angola? Because
yeah, that was pretty fun. I so we were out doing our surveys. So normally, what we would do on average day is we would go to some area and we'd try to find as many animals as we could, and we'd all just kind of split up. So obviously, we're in the middle of nowhere. Um, got driven in there, and we were probably like maybe half an hour, 40 minutes walk away from our camp. So I'm just wandering off on my own in the woods. And then out of nowhere, I just get the sensation that it's like I have to go to the bathroom immediately. Like there's no holding it in. This is just like this is a happening now thing. And I was like, well, I don't what am I going to do? But I am alone here. So I thought, well, I guess I could just like go here, but what am this doesn't feel like it's going to be a clean situation if you catch my drift. So how am I going to deal with that? Um, so I took a deuce, pretty much right where I was standing, and I was like, well, I gotta wipe with something. So I took my notebook that I had with me to like record GPS locations and stuff, and just started ripping pages out of that. And as I was doing that, suddenly I spotted a lizard running through the underbrush. And I was like, oh, I gotta catch it. So,
oh no.
so I, tried to wipe as much as I could, pulled up my pants, and then started going for it. And I
Oh,
caught it.
okay. Thank God.
Calm down, calm down. I caught it, and that was I only caught I think like 3 lizards that day, and like 2 of them were the same of that one species that I found while I was pooping. And I found out later that was a new species. It was described later on. So, thanks to my irritable bowels, caught a new species.
That's insane.
So
So
there's my story.
as you were talking about that, I did remember that a similar situation happened to me in Madagascar. And I
Ooh.
kind of
You
blocked
discovered
it
a
out because
new
it was
lizard.
no. I had an interesting bowel situation in Madagascar, which I kind of blocked from my memory because it was so horrible. But we went to this conference, and like everyone got food poisoning at this conference, and I got it really bad. And we were in this hotel that was like 30 minutes away from the conference center, which is weird because everyone else was in this like actual hotel that was like only 5 minutes away. But me, my one friend from the lab who had actually just met, and like the other three guys who were on the trip, for some reason everybody else was a girl who was like they were really close to the conference center, and we were like in the boonies, like in this
The
back,
police.
like this French guy's villa in like the middle of nowhere.
Nice.
And I had such bad food poisoning. I was up like half the night throwing up and pooping at the like alternating, and
Ew.
then I finally got to sleep only to wake up and find that I had like leaked like
Uh,
overnight, and it was bad because not only that but like
Were you sharing a bed?
yeah.
yeah.
Thankfully, my friend was super understanding about it. Because he had actually had this. He would
Because he
understood that
also
every.
leaked the bed.
No, he did not. But he understood because he had seen everybody else get food
Leaked the
poisoning,
bed.
and they were actually like much worse cases than me. There were people who like were hospitalized like during that trip. It was crazy. But
Yikes.
that was also like the time that like the maid at that hotel we were staying at tried to steal my pillow while I was there. How they tried to force us to buy breakfast from them. It was really weird. But anyway, yeah.
Wow. What an awful episode this has become.
All
No,
right.
Just
crappy
kidding.
start to this episode.
This
Nah,
guy.
nah,
This
Nah,
guy.
see?
We might have to have him on more.
hey.
Oh, well, don't say that just yet. I could still screw this up.
Don't you worry,
Nah.
Tom. We like you too much. So we're about 10 minutes in, and I already finished the quiz.
Wow. Okay. So we're just
Okay.
gonna. I guess this is what we're doing now.
Yep.
Horribly.
Hard segue.
Hard segue. I've worked hard on it, and I wanted to make sure it gets done before
All
we
right.
forget, like Callum's book.
True. I mean, I thought we were gonna do that on like a just you and me. I didn't want to bother Tom with my innate rambling about a book that I read in elementary school.
But this is going to be put out before that, so as of right now, we're still technically delaying the book.
God dang it. The fans, what are they gonna think of me?
I'm so interested in the book now, though. Like, you can't just tease me like that.
Yeah,
I fell in a hole.
it's gonna it's gonna be the episode where I don't make it all the way through, and you might have to sub in for me, Tom.
Fair enough.
It is a
Alright.
good book, I must say.
All right, Tom.
Wants to be the hungry caterpillar. Anyway, continue.
No.
That's something I would be interested in.
Yes, do the quiz.
So,
What's the quiz?
Tom, question number 1. I made it 10 questions, just so you know, because I don't feel like worrying about fractions. What is the name of this podcast?
Castpod.
All right, 1 for Tom. We're doing good.
Pretty good. That was pretty good.
What is today's date?
May 9th.
Ah,
It's May 10th.
it's after midnight.
Oh, no.
Got him.
I got
Perfect
duped. But wait, what? Illinois time or something?
timing.
Like some certain
Get
people we
outta
know.
here. You're on the
Okay,
East Coast. And
yeah, I
you
was
know
gonna
it.
say, who's in Pennsylvania and who's in Jersey? Us. So there we
Wait.
go.
I'll succumb to
You've
that
asked
one.
2 questions and answered one of them.
Question number 3. When did Castpod start?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Let me think. 2015?
Sure.
God dang it, Kevin.
I said I had questions. I
I'm
didn't
going based off of the YouTube. Like when I looked up this channel to subscribe to it, I was looking at like the earliest episode, and it said something like 4 years ago or something. I don't know if it was 4 or 5, so I just took a shot. But
I looked up. I made questions. I didn't look up answers. So, and technically,
Guys,
anything
you're
could
the
be right.
worst host, I swear.
Question number 4. Who are the hosts?
and Calum.
I gave a hint. Yeah, it's true.
Well, according to Calum in the beginning of this podcast, I'm a host and you're a guest, Kevin. So
Yep. Welcome to the podcast, Kevin.
All right. Question number 5, 6, and 7. It's kind of like a package question.
Okay.
What's your mother's maiden name? What was the name of your first pet? And what street did you grow up on?
Me and you really have to have a serious talk about my address later. My,
Don't
yeah,
answer it.
no,
Don't answer it.
not gonna answer the two
Okay.
other ones, but I will say my first pet was Toonie, a cat,
Oh,
because I never
cool.
used that. I never used that for any sort of informational.
Was it named after the Looney Tunes?
It was. My mother
Really?
loves Looney Tunes, and he was so goofy that she called him that.
That's
But
awesome.
isn't Goofy a
Yeah.
Disney property?
You shut up.
All right. Who was our favorite roommate in college?
You're just gonna say something wild like 32nd president.
Okay.
Now, do you mean your favorite roommates individually? Like, do you guys have the same favorite roommate?
I'm pretty sure it's the same.
Okay, is it me?
Calum?
If it
Can you vouch it was
Callum, is it
Tom?
me?
Sorry, the right answer was Nick. Nick is what we were looking for.
Oh, no. Oh God.
All right, Tom. Question number 9.
I'm ready.
Why does Rhyhorn sound like a bear?
Good question. Good question.
I would think that it's because he was one of the first Pokemon they ever designed, and at that point in the development process, they didn't have any thought that the Pokemon would actually say their names in battle. So they probably just gave them animal sounds to make it easier to understand for kids.
All
Mm,
right. That's a
that's
better
pretty good.
answer than
That
I
was a
was
good answer.
expecting.
Good answer. Good answer.
It's
All
like
right.
Family Feud.
Final question.
Okay.
Do you like the gobbledygooker?
Oh, nice, nice,
Uh,
nice. Good question.
I'm gonna say no.
And that's all we had for tonight. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for having me on. We invited the Quizmaster to the podcast today. The Quizmaster who doesn't know the answers to his own questions.
I'm just gonna
This
start doing
was.
that, Calum. Every time we have a guest, I'm gonna give him a quiz,
I
and
like it.
I might not have all the answers.
I don't think you ever will.
That's a
Ye of little faith, Callum.
it's a
Got
good
that right.
good concept. Also, I want you to know I wrote it on a napkin and a Sharpie because I didn't think of it until we said there was going to be a quiz later on.
I
So,
expect nothing less from you.
yep, top production value here.
You're really
So,
killing it right now.
Tom,
Yes.
what is your favorite college memory of us?
Oh, yeah, I guess we can talk about college.
Let's just
I
get
mean,
real
it is
deep.
our. Yeah, sure. All right, so I have two, and they're kind of both tied for me. I actually wrote about one of these in my class this semester because we had to write a story about like why to conserve nature, and we had to tie it into a story. But the night that I don't remember which subset of us were in herpetology at that moment, but Callum, me, it was like a whole bunch, all like near where Callum's house is, and
Mm-hmm.
at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night on like a weekend, and we just like romped around in these woods. I forget what the woods are called across from your house, but
Mm-hmm.
we just like romp looking for salamanders, and we ran into other people there also looking for salamanders,
Do we really?
and
I don't remember that.
it was quick. They like kind of really quickly walked past us. I don't even know if they might not have been like as into it as we were. I think they were just kind of like old people who were just kind of like out for a nature walk, listening to the frogs. But
Or just
I
floosh in the goosh.
or that or that. But I remember Callum like getting on his waders and like going out into the water with a net to try and find spring peepers, and I was just like, it was such a unique experience that it kind of stuck with me. It was a lot of fun, and I
Nice.
remember like the ride there and the ride back. We were like so boisterous and loud and stuff, but then once we all got into it and we were like looking for the creatures, we are all like really silent and stuff. It was kind of fun. Um,
Aw.
and
I
then
I
my
like it.
don't think I was there.
This next one we were there, and it was junior year. It was my birthday, and Diana offered to take us out to dinner for it, to take me out to dinner for it, and like everybody came. Like it was like, Kenny Mac, Brandon was there, like all y'all were there. Like it was a really fun night, and I remember we did that, and then we came back and like we were playing Pokemon Showdown with Brandon, and then they left, and we were playing all sorts of things. And then we got into one of our super long like top Pokemon conversations till like 4 a.m, and it was just, it was a great time.
Oh, can we get a wholesome in the chat?
Yeah, hashtag wholesome.
Hashtag wholesome. Tom's starting hashtags. This guy has a Twitter now, and he's hashtagging everything.
I have a Twitter, but I can't figure out how to make it public. So let's not.
That's fine.
Nah, that's cool.
You don't need it.
I'm basically an old man, but I'm young. I just don't know how to use technology, unless it has a video game controller attached to it, in which case I do.
It's cool. We're the same way.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not exactly the brightest bunch here.
Oh, Kevin, what was your favorite? Sorry, there's a creeper. What was your favorite?
I guess it's important to mention that Calum is playing Minecraft.
Hey, what are you doing over there?
The eagle ear listeners of this podcast will notice that Calum panicked earlier when he fell into a hole.
I really thought I could play it off all episode. That creeper got to me, dude.
Are you playing on any mods, Calum, or are you just playing vanilla?
No, I'm just playing vanilla solo it up.
Nice. Tom, do you have a good enough computer to play Minecraft now?
Yes.
Sweet.
Yep.
Good to know. So, my favorite memory of Tom.
No, I'm sorry.
That was not the question.
What was the question?
What was your favorite?
So,
yes.
My favorite. There was actually a time in the past where you legitimately did that, Calum, and it was the funniest moment like ever.
Well, I don't remember. What did I do? What was the context?
I would say we were out somewhere, either vaulting or something, and I think it was like a bee or something just completely snuck up on you.
Yeah, sounds
and
right.
It was the most genuine ever.
I do tend to make that sound quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. That
That's
and
a good sound.
I was watching your stream at twitch.tv/VannyD one day, and I took my headphones out so I can make dinner, and the first thing you did was go and it was just me and Molly standing in my kitchen, and then you just did that out of nowhere.
I'm glad. I pride myself on my entertainment factor.
So, one of my favorite Tom moments of college.
Yes.
Tom did nothing
Nice.
in it.
Great. Good story.
It was a girl who did it.
Girl Tom.
No, not girl Tom.
No.
Tom's girlfriend. Ooh.
Ooh. Wow.
So I was an RA, and I had a board, and I really, really phoned it in with some of these boards. Like, no effort whatsoever.
Right.
And when I did that, the board I had, it was like, what do you love for Valentine's Day?
Nice.
And I wrote Thomas J. Kelly. And she wrote Thomas Jefferson Kelly. And despite some people knowing you since freshman year of college, that actually got some people.
Yeah, well, if we're talking about me in freshman year, I was not exactly the most present.
Oh, I made you present. I bullied you a little bit freshman year.
Except for that one time where you were really present while sleepwalking, specifically to
I knew you were going to bring that
up.
That was
a good
one. How can I not?
So for those of you who do not know, anybody who listening to this podcast who does not know, I am a sleepwalker. So especially when there's loud noises or when somebody walks in to say a shared room when I've been asleep for like an hour or two and I'm exhausted. It usually only happens when I'm like really, really tired. I will manifest into like, sleepwalking, sleep talking. So that's what happens.
Why
I
is
don't
that
use
the
up all
word
my
you used?
It just makes it
because
sound
the way
so
I think
intimidating.
of it is it never happens if I'm like if I'm doing like something active during the day. Like when I was working at some of my jobs where I was outside all day, it never happened because I was always so physically tired. But if I was inside all day doing homework, like I would have excess physical energy. So I think that's kind of what happens. I'm still unsure because every time it's a new experience. But yeah, so basically my roommate walked in and I was asleep and I think he was talking to somebody on the phone, and I thought he was talking to me. So like, I subconsciously woke up and like ran out of my room into
No,
the
okay, you tell from your perspective.
room. I don't remember anything. I literally remember waking up, sitting on the couch, and I think Miles asking if I was okay, and I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And then like Kevin, I think you were like, "You just sprinted out here," and I was like, "I
Yes.
did," and you're like, "Yes," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to bed now."
Yes.
It was it was a time. Yeah, that has persisted. It's not nearly as dramatic now. Although there was a few times when I was on one of my jobs with my girlfriend that it was kind of crazy, but it was just it comes and goes. I think again it depends on how much energy I've used during the day and what noises are heard.
So, from my perspective, that story, I see Calum and Tom's sweet mate Nick dart out of the room, and then I just see Tom's not a small person. Tom is 6'7".
Yeah, I am a
And
big
yeah,
person.
he's 6'7", and he's like 200, what,
Well, like
215,
220,
220.
215, 220.
So
Oh,
this
yuck. Sorry. Go on.
so this man is the combination of Bigfoot and Gumby. And I just see him fully sprint down a hallway, which it was a relatively big hallway, at least 50 feet, if not more. Uh, and he just sits down with us in the lounge. And one of the first things I noticed, besides the fact that Tom sprinted down, was Tom's not wearing his glasses. Which, up until that point, you've been like, I've never seen you go. It's like, oh, I just didn't feel like wearing glasses today. It's like you either were asleep and had your glasses off, or you had them on. There was no in between.
Yeah.
And Tom sat down. He was talking to us a little bit. And then, after a smidge, he kind of just had like a realization moment where he just had like his body had like a little shake, and then he just kind of looked around like really confused. And turns out that entire conversation I had with Tom was not actually there for. And then he went to bed.
And that's happened multiple times since then. Me and Logan have had full on discussions about.
Yes.
Logan was one of my other roommates. He full on discussions about
He would ask you
competitive
about.
Pokemon
I was to say,
strategies
yeah, he would
from like,
legitimately ask
and
you
not
about
even like the
Pokemon
current
strats.
meta, like stuff from like, oh, in like the games from 2008 was like Aerodactyl a good Pokemon, and I'm like, I would answer, and I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, no.
And sometimes it used to freak me out, but now I just kind of take it in stride. I think it's kind of
He's
funny.
fact checked you before just to be safe, and you were 100% right every time.
I mean,
That's your superpower, Tom.
I guess so.
Also, another. So, Tom, as someone who's slept over my apartment multiple times so far, every single time, because I have cats that run around and make noise, I have frogs that make noise, I have a lot of running water in my apartment, and every single time I get not concerned, but there's always me talking to my girlfriend of, what if tonight's the night Tom sleepwalks in our apartment? And
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't think that'll ever happen. And it's mainly because when I sleep over at your apartment, I'm sleeping on either an air mattress or, it's not like a bed. And I think that's part of it because when I'm in a bed and then I hear a noise, it's like I'm in a state of like almost like I'm in a bed in a room and I hear a
Mm-hmm.
noise that's outside the room, then my subconscious brain freaks out. But if I'm like, I was so used to the noises of your frogs because we were hanging out there all day, and
Mm-hmm.
I have had cats for years. I live with cats when I'm living in New York for school. You know, I'm used to the noises that they make. I think it's mainly when there's noises that are either coming from somebody else, like thumps or people talking. That's when it
Hmm.
gets me going. So, you know, if you had come out and started talking to me like as a joke, I probably would have responded. But animals, I'm not as sensitive to,
Good
at
to
least in
know.
my experience.
So, also, this might be an admittance to something, but Tom, do you remember in freshman year of college that night that you woke up incredibly sweaty to, I think, me and Calum trying to figure it out?
No, I don't remember being. Wait, what? When was this?
So,
Freshman?
freshman year, it was like, I think, November ish, and
Mm-hmm.
your half of the room was so hot that literally, like, heat was pouring out of it. That's how hot it was.
No, I don't
And,
remember that.
alright, so that happened, and I talked to you, and you were just caked in sweat because of how hot it was. Because Nick, your roommate at the time, was asking me, and I think it was Cal, it might have been Logan,
Huh?
on how we can how to fix it.
Fix what?
How hot it was in Tom and Nick's half of the room freshman year for the beginning of it,
Yeah.
and
Co-host checks back into podcast he's recording.
and it was 100% my fault why it was so hot in that dorm.
Wait, what did you do?
So I saw the thermostat that we had that you can control the temperature in your suite with,
Mm-hmm.
and I just went, "What if I slide this all the way up?"
Mm-hmm.
And I did
Mm-hmm.
that probably day one, and I specifically did it to your room in
Yep.
case it caused any problems, and I didn't want that to happen to my room.
Yep.
Wow.
I
So,
remember that.
and
I remember.
you guys had your windows open for quite some time, except you and Nick, Tom, closed your windows before Callum did. So Callum's half was still being cooled, and the heater would kick on for both sides and just crank all the way up, trying to make Callum's side hot, which made Tom's side hot, which led me to walking into your half of the room at like probably around this time at night and seeing Tom just caked in sweat, him waking up and going, "Fix it."
That is, I do not remember that at all, but that's hilarious.
Yeah,
I
so,
didn't even remember you doing that. Like, I don't
well,
think I had the forethought, and maybe I had realized it in my sleep that.
hey, stop fighting over there. Stop it.
Fixed it.
But, no, I didn't admit it till I think at least junior year.
I mean, wow, that's
And it wasn't even, like, I'm afraid of the mistake I made. I I knew it was me, and at the time when we were fixing it, I knew what the thermostat did, and I just didn't remember that it was me. But it was 100% me.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, well, you're always keeping me on my toes, Kevin, and
Yep.
in that regard.
Gotta make
Wow.
sure someone's a little bit miserable.
My mom like cranked up the cold like setting on my refrigerator to the max because she was afraid that the milk I bought at the farmers market wouldn't keep cold, and then the entire milk bottle exploded because of that. And Nick woke up once and went to get his coffee, and he was like woke me up in like a frenzy because there was broken glass all over the floor and frozen milk. It was quite interesting.
I thought this just happened for a second.
No. This was like freshman year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, that room had there were some adventures with that
Mhm.
room. So
Good times, good times.
yeah, you say
Yep.
that.
I do say that.
You got the easy side.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. Like,
Anyways.
yeah, different. We
Anyways.
won't go into that. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's for a heartburn story.
Got that right.
What are you doing? Stop it. Oh.
I'm just trying to run a show.
My one cat's playing with plastic, and Beans is like grabbing it from Carm. So
Should I
now
be
they're at.
playing with plastic?
You could be, but now they're just kind of
Okay.
staring each other down, seeing who's gonna make a move for the plastic. And Carmilla hates it. Her tail is so fluffy right now. She's really pissed off at Beans for ruining her fun.
Good.
And now Beans playing with it. Nope, Beans smelling things now.
Welcome back to Castpod. Today we've got play-by-play cats.
It is now Castpod.
Hey,
Another one. This guy's got zingers.
this guy's got jokes. We might have him on again sometime.
Are they jokes or are they spin-off series?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well,
Gotta
speaking
think
of
like a
jokes,
CEO, gentlemen.
I found because I already mentioned Angola. I found my old field notebook where I basically made it into like a diary.
Mm.
Boy howdy, this thing it's an adventure. I've just been like reading small passages like, oh yeah,
Is it
that
is it
was
like a
funny.
legitimate diary or
I mean, kind of. Like, it was mostly lists of species, but I'd also talk about, like, what we did that day, in case there was anything, like, going on.
Mm.
And I have, in the back of it, it's just titled Notes to Self. And it's, like, random things that happened or I learned. And just some, like, the little shorthand that I have for some of them just make me laugh. The very first one is The Women Are Jacked. It's just like, oh yeah.
Oh my
That's
god,
true.
travel advice with Calum. Going to Angola.
I was to say we might have. I think we did a one travel episode in the past before
Did
we
we?
brought it back. I think so.
I think so. That was
So we
before I
should
went to
I
Angola.
was say we should probably have another travel episode.
We could have a full episode about Angola.
Uh,
I've
yeah,
already
that's
talked
true.
about it on a previous podcast. Well, not ours, but I
But
didn't go
other
like that in
people's
depth on it. Because there's plenty of stories here that I didn't
tell.
talk about. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the chief that goes, "Hey."
Let's see.
That's
Yep.
it. That's the story.
Wait, is it this one?
I don't know. I don't see what you're doing.
I was looking at our old Castpod episodes list, which isn't that hard to do. There's 16 episodes out right now.
On June 10th, we found a bush baby.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What kind of bush was its mother?
Sagebush.
Berry. Yeah, it's funny actually. Speaking of the bush babies, I don't think I told this one. It keeps with the theme of Africa and bathrooms. I was going to the bathroom, and
Like an actual bathroom or in the woods?
no, we were at a campsite, so we had a hole and a toilet seat.
Got it.
Okay, it was basically like if you took a stool and took the seat off the stool and put a toilet seat there instead, and then we put that over a hole, so we didn't just like squat on it. It was pretty. I don't think it was that late at night, but it was at night, so it was like pitch black, and the toilet's like in the woods a little bit away from camp because you don't want to keep that too close. So I walk out there, and I sit down, and usually I have my flashlight on just to kind of look around. But I was like, oh, it's fine. I can see enough. So flashlight's off. I'm sitting on the toilet doing my thing, and I just start getting in my head, and I'm like, what if What if there's something out there, you know? What if there's some animals or even some people that are just like strolling through the woods right now, and I would have no idea. They could be right in front of me because it was like that dark. And then all of a sudden, crash right in front of me. Something just like hits the ground hard, and I basically scream. And I grab my flashlight and I turn it on, and it's just a stick. And I'm like, what the heck? Is there like a leopard above me that's about to kill me? And I look up, and it was a tiny little bush baby that just happened to drop the stick in front of me. And it was probably the most terrifying moment of the entire trip right there. It literally scared the poop out of me. Ah,
That's pretty good.
thank you. Well, bush babies have surprisingly bright eye shine. Like when you see them, they look massive, but they're actually like 2 inches tall. That's an exaggeration, but still, they're very small for how bright their eyes are.
Brighter
So they
than my
can.
future. What?
Huh? They'll get you. You gotta watch out. So this has been Castpod.
Yeah, getting ready for the weekend.
How are the wife and kids?
You know,
Third,
usual.
2/3 over.
Nice.
I was gonna say, actually, it is getting towards that time in this episode, Calum.
Well, one day I'll take care of your kids, but for now, just kidding.
You hate kids, except for your baby.
No.
Are you
I
gonna
won't
buy
say
a
anything.
Veiny D t-shirt? It's
Well, for myself?
no,
Yeah.
for the baby.
Oh God, no!
I
I'm gonna get
specifically
arrested.
I specifically left kids' clothes as an option for your like stream logo.
I know you did.
For the sole purpose of, in case you ever think, I'll give this to the baby.
I'm never gonna get. Are you? No, never. Literally never. It's not even the kid's last name, so that wouldn't make any sense.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
But yeah,
I mean,
can
I
you
always
imagine
assumed
that?
you would use it to pick up chicks.
God no. Like I don't know what women would be interested in with a single father, but it's not the ones that I want. That's for sure.
No boy.
But yeah, we are getting to the point where we do our wrap up sessions, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. And I bet
So
you're wondering, how do we play this with 3 people?
I don't know.
It's simple. There's
Team
2
is Tom.
contestants.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
What are we doing first?
Tom, pick.
I have to make these hard because Tom's here.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
All right, Tom.
Tell him no. I need to win. Make it easy.
Nope.
Tom, you gotta pick.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Me first. Sweet. All right. So, Tom, the name of the game is Real or Fake, and you have to
Okay.
decide if.
Or fake.
And you have to decide if what I say is completely made up or it has happened at some point in the world of wrestling, to my knowledge.
Okay.
So, for this week, there is a wrestler who, for his promos, so when he's just doing, like, talking to the camera, the fans, etc., it always, or a lot of the time, runs in a Mr. Rogers-esque show. However, when he is wrestling in the ring, except for, I believe, one time, he is this evil alter ego where, like, all the voices in his head, like, come out to play, and he wears a very scary mask. And that's how he fights. So is it real or made up? And because there's 2 of you, I'm gonna give you each 2 questions.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that it's real.
Okay.
Hmm.
Calum, do you agree with Tom, or are you going to argue?
I wasn't sure if he was thinking about the question or talking to a villager.
That's also a very real possibility.
Um. So you're just gonna take it. You're not even gonna ask like
Yeah, Tom's got no
questions.
questions.
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't know we could ask questions,
I
but it's fine.
literally
Yeah,
just
you,
said you can
you can. Yeah, you can.
ask
I
two
thought you were going to
questions.
ask me 2 questions. I didn't realize. I thought you meant there was going to be this one, and then the next one. I didn't know
No,
I could ask two
you could
questions.
ask 2 questions.
In that case,
Give you a
what
little
is
bit of context.
what? Can I ask what the name of
What was that, Tom? You cut out.
Name.
The
the
name
name?
of the wrestler, or like,
The wrestler.
His
okay.
alter ego.
I wasn't sure if you meant the wrestler or the alter ego or the show. So
No, just wrestler.
the wrestler's name is Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt. Okay. And how long has he been doing this like shtick?
How long has this gimmick been going on? It's been
Mm-hmm.
actually only about a year now. I think it started up last August-ish. No, before that. July, I would say.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay.
You get no more questions. You
I
asked
know.
two.
I'm thinking about my decision.
What is the name? No, I changed my mind. What is your favorite color?
I was gonna do it if you didn't. Oh.
Yellow? Yeah, no, my favorite color is yellow.
Literally the only person in the world I know whose favorite color is yellow.
That
I know
you,
a few actually.
Oh wait, no, Abby's
I was
was
about to
yellow
say.
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out, biggest fan Abby.
I think she was like
Um,
our third subscriber after
after
us.
us. Yeah. Um, I will say. I will say it is real.
I will also say it's real.
Final answer. I'm hitting the
Final
buzzer.
answer. All right, you are both correct.
A
He is
Boom.
Bray Wyatt. He wrestles as the Fiend, and I'll put in a picture into the disc of both like halves of it. So the show he makes is called the Firefly Funhouse,
What on earth is
and
that
jeez.
thing?
it's hilarious.
Oh, I
He
hate it.
he actually had he wrestled John Cena at this past WrestleMania 36, in a Firefly Funhouse match. Which I know what you're thinking. What is a Firefly Funhouse match? It
Mm-hmm.
was about at least 10 minutes of just pure insanity. John Cena was like time traveling and recreating famous moments of his career and stuff. And it was just absolutely nuts. And it was one of my favorite matches of that WrestleMania because of how ridiculous it was.
What
So
is wrestling?
I don't
exactly.
know, but that's why this is a
Picture.
segment.
I'm looking at this picture, and I know it's a picture, so I'll describe it for listeners. But it's basically like it's split down the middle, and one half is like this kind of happy-looking guy, with like a beard, and there's some like puppets behind him, and it's like clouds and stuff. And then the next half is like this version of him where he has no beard and he has all this horrible makeup that makes him look like some sort of Mortal Kombat character mixed with like a skull. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a big thing in like I guess blood or fire or something that says "Let me in" the background. And on one hand, I'm super intimidated by it and I'm surprised that this is a real thing. But on the other hand, I'm literally only thinking of the Eric Andre meme where he's trying to break into the White House.
Let
Let
me
me in, let
in.
me in. And I'm like, if this man was doing this, I would actually
I'd
crap my
let him
pants.
in. Oh yeah.
Another hilarious moment about this wrestler is the fact that he would, one of his first entrances as the Fiend, he came out. So his old character, which was just Bray Wyatt, which was like some semi supernatural entity,
Mm-hmm.
he would walk down to the ring. It would be like pitch black, and he would have a lantern. And he would the first time he walked out like that, he walked out with his old, like, basically a head that looked like his old gimmick as the lantern. And it was
Yikes.
kind of nuts. But the guy's insane. Gotta love him. Calum's turn.
My turn, my part of the show. So I'm trying to figure out how we do this. Should I can do 2 words because we have 2 people here, 2 guests. Should I do
Both of guests and hosts in this podcast shift very frequently.
Time is relative. All right. So should I do
Wear a watch.
give the both of you at the same time, like a word, and then just do 2 words? Or should I give 1 word for one person, 1 word for the other person?
I would say the second one.
Okay,
Do like
so each
one word
person
for one
gets a word.
person.
Everyone
Yeah.
gets a turn. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to go first then?
I think Tom should go first.
You think Tom should go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, which is the easier word? The first word or the second word?
Well, I have to make them, kind of equal to the person's abilities, right?
Okay, I was gonna say, and then the second question was, are you gonna curve it to me and Tom's individual abilities?
All right. Let's do this. I've got a list here
Okay.
of what is it called? Like most commonly misspelled words or something. 15 of the hardest words to spell in the English language. There we go. So,
Okay.
Tom,
Yes.
your word for 500 points is acquiesce.
Acquiesce.
If you need a definition or a sentence, let me know.
I could use a definition.
Okay, acquiesce. To accept something reluctantly, but without protest.
Oh, I thought you were just pronouncing aqueous weirdly.
No. I'm not pulling a Maleficent, all right?
Okay. All right. A C Q U E O U S.
Sorry, that's incorrect.
Dang.
Acquiesce. ACQUIESCE.
Really?
Acquiesce. Yeah.
That's
It is.
insane.
It is a weird word, to be sure.
I don't think I've even used that word in real life before, but
Well, hey, now you can, right?
exactly. See, I was
Do
gonna
you
make
want
all
to?
my papers and stuff more interesting.
See,
Do you want to play comp Overwatch? I acquiesce.
I reluctantly
play.
accept.
that's a very real answer.
All
I
right.
mean, yeah, that's a real world example.
There we go.
My life.
I was gonna say that's. See,
So what's Kevin's word?
oh shit,
Oh yeah, Kevin, are you ready for your word?
I'm never ready.
This is next on the list of hardest to spell words in the English language. Your word. Again, feel free to ask for definition or what was the other thing? Sentence.
Oh, I will.
Your word is Wednesday.
What? No, I would be more upset if I wasn't positive that he could do this.
Can you
All right,
use
Kevin.
it in a sentence?
Sure.
You better.
It is Wednesday, my dude.
I knew it. I was like, you better use the sentence.
All right.
There's only one acceptable sentence.
Got that right.
Can you
So you want the
define
definition?
it? Yeah.
Okay. Noun. The day of the week before Thursday and following Tuesday.
All right. That's kind of a lame definition.
Sorry. According to International Standard ISO 8601, it is the 3rd day of the week. How's that?
All right.
Also known as the hump day.
There we go.
All right. I believe it is spelled WEDNESDAY. No.
He
Wait.
did it. He did it. He did it.
Oh wow! Thank God you didn't let me second guess that.
Yeah. It's just as you said wait, I was like, no. He did it.
I was about to switch the N and the D.
When does this day?
Wednesday.
That was difficult.
I mean,
Oh.
it actually is a very commonly misspelled word.
I
People
literally,
don't say
Okay, yeah.
Wednesday, you know.
All right, yeah,
I-
commonly spelled, sure, but who even spells acquiesce?
You make a good point.
You know.
But they were both on the
Who's
list.
ever used that sentence?
the people that are being invited to play competitive Overwatch with our friends.
That's a fact.
Because our friends don't just use three letter words such as bet or
Or ye.
e or let's go or something. Lego.
Well, now you can say I acquiesce.
Can
I
you, man?
will not.
Get on comp. I want to play. I acquiesce this
I
request.
acquiesce.
He's like, and then he'll ask how to spell it, and I'll have forgotten how to spell it by then.
No, but you could say it is Wednesday, my dudes.
Wednesday, my dude.
We like to
I knew it
consider
was going to be
ourselves.
a lot easier than mine.
I mean, you
That's
gotta
really
curve
funny.
it to the abilities, right, of the person.
You holding me to a higher standard than we all know that I don't
thought
belong
this
at,
was
Tom?
going to be like. I thought this was going to be like what it was on your last episode or your last 2 episodes ago, where Calum was going to give like scientific words, and I was going to have to figure out what it meant. I was like so confident, and then it was like spelling, and I'm like, oh no.
No, because I knew that you would know scientific words, so
Yeah,
I
no,
had
not
to
all of
go
them. Maybe I didn't know the one
English.
that you talked about last time. So
What did I say last time? Was that the word that means somebody who uses big words?
no, it was like dealing with like populations and like animals and stuff. It was somewhere to see, um,
Uh,
like
It was a census related word.
something like that. It was like conter or something. I don't know. I'll have to go back and listen to it. But it was a
me too, it's been
word,
a while.
and I was like, it referred to a group of like individuals that was in some way different than the rest, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. It was like in the same vein as like conspecifics, but
I was
different.
about to say it was a con-specific.
I do know what that word means though.
Yep.
But yes,
Me too.
that was a fun exercise nonetheless.
Yeah, everybody has fun.
All right, Tom, take us out.
What?
Tom, do the outro.
I don't.
Come on, we do it every time.
Come on, Tom.
I never listened to the end.
You gotta do the
Wow,
Castpod
hold
jingle.
on.
Come on. Everybody knows a classic Castpod jingle.
You know.
It's the most important meal of the day. Serving it up,
Serving it
Calum
up.
and Kevin's way.
Carries. Perfect. He does listen.
He gets.
Exactly. I thought you were going to ask me for a bit, and I'm like, I have nothing prepared.
No, it's literally just us leaving.
Yeah,
Okay,
pretty
cool.
much.
Well,
Well, thank you everybody for listening to this. I tried to think of a word, but it didn't work. This episode.
this aqueous episode.
This acquiesce episode of a Castpod.
Well, please tell me this is going up on Wednesday.
This is
It
going
is
up a
Wednesday.
week from Tuesday.
Okay.
They go up
Nice.
every Tuesday at 10 a.m. if
Okay.
we record it.
I think this is pretty successful as our first guest episode.
Hmm.
Thank you, Tom, for
So
joining
it's
us.
your first guess.
We might
Yeah.
have him on again soon.
Who knows? He might be our only guest. This might never happen again. But we will find that out in the next episode. You can find Tom in New
You
Jersey.
can. Okay, wait.
I thought he was gonna stop after you could find Tom.
You can find him. Just figure it out.
You can look for him.
No, I mentioned this to you guys before the podcast, but I actually just got a Twitter today.
He does. Please plug
Still
yourself.
working it out, all the kinks and like getting all my profile set up and everything. But by the time this episode goes up, I should have my profile set up. You can follow me at Thomas Kelly or at Kaiju Catcher 757. That's no spaces, KAIJU, and then the word catcher, as in Pokemon catcher or baseball catcher 757.
I like how you said Pokemon catcher. We might have to talk about that a little bit next time you're on.
I would hope so. I'm always down to talk Pokemon with you guys. But yeah, I have Twitter. You can also find me on Facebook, Thomas Kelly. I post some stuff about my career there from time to time, as well as some of the photos that I've been in different places. So if you're interested, feel free to check me out.
Perfect. And you can find us here. So, Kevin, take us out.
All right. Follow Calum at twitch.tv/VaneyD for all of his wacky gaming adventures. He's a god tier streamer.
Oh,
And you could also check out us on Castpod Twitter on the Twitter.
and buy our merch.
Buy our merch. https://www.tpublic.com/user/KevinHiggins17. We have a little bit of our merch, a little bit of Dialects 4 merch, a lot of bit of Heartburn merch.
A lot of it.
Made Danny like 30 things because that's all he texts me now.
Perfect.
All right. Calum, take us out.
That's awesome.